Hello, and thank you for clicking on this video. I am going to complain about progressives a little bit more. Right now would be a great time for progressives to try and establish a third party. They have been saying for years now, through at least maybe 3 election cycles, presidential election cycles, that there need to be more options and there need to be more parties. Go for it. Now would be a great time for them to lay that foundation and establish that. And if progressives do not take this opportunity in this political climate to establish their own party and reach more people and interest more people in their party, they're not serious, and they never were. Now, I frankly don't think they were ever really serious about establishing a third party, because I have actually given the idea of a third party a chance. I have heard them out. In the past, I have looked into some of these third party candidates, and the information that was out on the internet was absolutely ridiculous. Some of the websites would be one page and it would be like 5 paragraphs long. And this is a person that claims that they are wanting to run for president, someone that we don't know, never heard of, don't have a long political career. They're not a part of a established party, and they have 5 paragraphs on the internet, and that's supposed to be enough to earn our vote, supposedly. And they would have little videos up on the internet that would be maybe 2 or 3 minutes long. There would be 4 or 5 of them. So there would be, I don't know, less than 30 minutes of content, video content of them talking about their platform and introducing themselves to the public. And they're a third party. So these people, they're not serious. None of them, not one of them. Not maybe since like Ross Perot. And I will say that I had some respect for Ralph Nader when he ran, but it came to my attention recently that Ralph Nader was a part of the Green Party. He was the Green Party candidate. I can't remember when, maybe it was like 2020 or something like that. No, not 2020, like 2000. That's what I mean. And Jill Stein was a part of the Green Party. She was the Green Party candidate this last election. So I can't take the Green Party seriously. I will never, ever take them seriously or have any respect for them again. So, yeah, these people, they're not serious. And let me tell you a little bit about Jill Stein. I gave Jill Stein a chance. I was going to hear her out and listen to what she had to say. Jill Stein is a whole fool, and let me explain why I say that. Because back when I was on Twitter, I followed her. Yeah, I followed her. Or no, maybe it was one of her fans. I don't remember. But I remember I saw Jill Stein on Twitter one day, and she was crying over Harambe. And Harambe was that gorilla at the zoo in Cincinnati. The little boy, there's a little boy at the zoo with his parents and sibling who was a infant, and the boy got in the gorilla enclosure, I guess you would call it, or exhibit, or whatever you call it. Anyway, he got in there, and the police shot Harambe. Now that is sad. That's sad, and that's unfair. But a little boy was in the enclosure with the animal. So I mean, what was expected to do? And I do not trust anyone who is like, oh well, they should have been watching their child. Oh well, it's not. It was a little boy, and a gorilla. And there were a lot of people who were like, if they had to choose between a little boy and an ape, a gorilla, they chose the welfare of the ape over the little boy. And I'm not even going to tell you what race this family is. I'm not even going to go there with that. But yeah, I've been looking at people like real shady ever since then. People who are like, oh, Harambe. And that includes the Cincinnati Bengals fandom. I don't trust them. I don't like them. And I'm glad that they can't really get past the Chiefs, but that's a whole nother video. But anyway, yeah, Jill Stein was all on Twitter like, oh, Harambe. And this fool wanted to be president of the United States, and she would choose the well being of a zoo animal over a human child. She's not fit. She's not fit. She is not fit. And I just kind of wrote her off ever since then, her and her supporters. So, what progressives are doing right now with their time is they're trying to primary Democrats. And furthermore, they're trying to primary Democrats in solidly Democrat areas. So they're trying to trade off one Democrat seat for another. They're not even really trying to go anywhere where they can primary a Democrat and then challenge Republicans. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe I don't know, but I mean, yeah, in Congress or the House or whatever, they're just trading Democrat for Democrat. Like they're not even really trying to win more seats, is what I'm trying to say. And let's see, they're upset with, Pelosi and Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. Hakeem Jeffries keeps coming up of like people that they don't like and think, oh, he needs to be doing more. Hakeem Jeffries has never been like a real loud, hysterical kind of a guy. And there is the guy from Texas, Al Green, who's trying to impeach Trump. He's trying to get that ball rolling, but no one wants to pay attention to that. At least these progressives don't. So, yeah, they need to focus on trying to distinguish themselves from what they call corporate Democrats or moderate Democrats or centrist Democrats. They need to just completely distinguish themselves and go and establish their own party. But they know that they can't really gain any political power without using the foundation that's already laid out by Democrats. So why do they think that their political point of view is really worthwhile if they need someone else's foundation to build upon, and they don't even like those people? They don't even like those people. So it's just outrageous and ridiculous. And they continue to complain about age. And here's my thing. And they say that they want younger people in political office. They got to run. They got to run. I mean, they need to win an election. Like, they need to run. And youth is an asset in many, many ways, but youth is not always an asset. And I don't think that when it comes to politics, youth is really an asset. I think that politically, age would be more of an asset. Frankly, I don't even like politicians that are my age. These Gen X politicians are pretty much idiots. I cannot say that I am really impressed with any of them. There's a young woman from Illinois. Her name is Lauren. I can't remember the last name. She's a black lady. She's a nurse. I think that she does a good job. And she's accomplished a lot. I don't even know if she's Gen X. I think that she's millennial. There have been Democrats in my state who I liked who were maybe Gen X or older millennials, but they lost their election. But yeah, I don't see age as in I don't see youth as an asset as far as politics is concerned. I do think that age and wisdom is really more of an asset, and people need to understand that politics is supposed to be boring. It is supposed to be People who have read the Constitution, read the Bill of Rights, have really thought about it, studied it. They think about laws. They think about various statistics and demographic statistics, and they know about the water levels and building bridges. They're not supposed to be exciting. So that's what I liked about Biden. I thought Biden was a good politician. I thought Biden did a good job, and his age did not bother me a bit. I know that, I mean, I guess he did show his age at some point, but Biden could have been hooked up to a machine, and I mean, I would have voted for him. But instead, I voted for Harris because people said that, oh, yeah, we want people that are younger. Okay, well, you got someone that's younger. Hakeem Jeffries is in his 50s, so he's younger. And people are just continuously dragging him and complaining about him. It's ridiculous. Like, I mean, these people cannot really be taken seriously. They're just there to just undermine the Democrats, honestly. Oh, and Bernie Sanders is older than all of them, and they support him and just, put him up on a pedestal. Now, I'm going to give him credit. Bernie Sanders is in darn good shape. He is in fantastic shape. I was looking at him at Coachella, and I mean, he was in fantastic shape. I was just really, really impressed. He's very, very spry, and I bet he really enjoyed himself at Coachella. He seems like he would enjoy it. He seems like he would kind of fit right in with those youngsters. So, hey, good for him. Good for Bernie Sanders on that note. But yeah, anyway, they all need to go ahead and form their party. And again, I want to point out that Bernie Sanders is an independent. He is not a Democrat. Um, so the Democrats don't owe him anything. I really think that it was probably just kind of nice of them to even entertain him in the primaries in 2016. I mean, people are still mad that Bernie Sanders lost the primaries in 2016. He deserved to lose for numerous reasons. Like I said before, Bernie Sanders does not really talk about the how. He talks about what he would like to do, which I feel like it's just kind of like selling dreams. He does not talk about how he's going to do it and how he's going to gain support to do what he's going to do. And they're still doing that. AOC and Bernie Sanders, they're on these tours, doing all these rallies, and they're still not really talking about how they're going to do what they say that they want to do. And they're not really complaining about what is going on in government right now. I don't hear them calling it out. Um, this David Hogg guy, he is kind of on a press tour. He's been on a press tour the last few days, and he complains about Democrats and what the Democrats are not doing. The Democrats don't have a lot of political influence right now. They just don't. I mean, almost just about everything is in the Republicans' court. The ball is in their court. But David Hogg and the progressives are complaining about what the Democrats are not doing. Meanwhile, they're looking the other way about things that what Republicans are doing. For instance, in Southeast Michigan, in Washtenaw County, which is where University of Michigan is, there are people who are having their homes raided by the FBI. Keep in mind the FBI is headed by Kash Patel now, and Kash Patel is a professional conspiracy theorist. It's amazing how he made a career of being a conspiracy theorist. Anyway, they are raiding people's homes who protested on behalf of Palestinians. Now, regardless of what you think, regardless of my opinion, their opinion, they have the right to protest. That's covered by the First Amendment. and now their homes are being raided and their various devices are being apprehended by the FBI. Now, progressives have nothing to say about that, but they want to talk about Hakeem Jeffries. These people cannot be taken seriously, and I don't have any respect for any of them. And this David Hogg guy, if you don't know, he went to, I want to say Parkland High, or maybe it was Marjorie Stoneman. But anyway, he was involved. He was a student, a high school student, and he was involved. By involved, I mean he was there. He was a student, and there was a mass shooting at his school. I do not understand how that makes him a politician. I mean, at this point in America, like a lot of us are victims. So, I mean, almost anyone on the street, I mean, probably like every third person, you can ask if they've ever been in the vicinity of a shooting, and they probably have. So, I don't see how that makes him a qualified spokesperson. And he had the nerve to say that he is for like gun control. Well, I mean, he's from Florida, and Florida is a permitless carry state, and they just had a mass shooting the other day. So I'm like, and they became permitless carry not long ago, maybe a year or two ago, and he's not saying anything about that. Like these people, like it's not adding up. Like I mean, it's like they say one thing, and then their attention is totally on something else. So again, I don't trust them. I don't respect them. Their actions do not live up to things that they've said. They should really be taking this opportunity to establishing their own party, getting ready for 2028, and making a real run for it. The last person that I can remember who made a solid run on a third party ticket was Ross Perot, and that was, gosh, I want to say 92. So these people that are like, oh, there needs to be a third party, they just, for the most part, just kind of want to undermine Democrats. And if someone like Bernie Sanders, who's an independent, wants to make a run on a party, why doesn't he appeal to the um, Republicans? Why not? Why not? So, anyway, that's all I have to say. That's what this is about. And again, progressives need to be trying to establish their own third party right now. They have time. I think that they have a lot of things going in their favor. So, yeah, go ahead and establish your party, reach out to people, come up with a brand, see if you can win some elections, maybe in the midterms. Put it out there. I'm not going to vote for them, but yeah, put it out there. Since you all want a third party so bad and think that voters need more options. So, anyway, that's all I have to say. I think I'm going to stop complaining about progressives for a while. I just want it to be fair because I've complained about MAGA. I've complained about MAGA, so now let's complain about progressives who I think are as much of a problem. And I think at some point I will complain about centrist Democrats too, but they're not the ones who like irritate me and tick me off. I mean, I can complain, but it would just be really like nitpicking, and I don't really think that that is what anyone needs to be doing right now. It's not what I'm going to do. Now, again, I'm complaining about progressives. I'm complaining about like people like the squad, who've gotten very quiet. And the one from Massachusetts who is bald, she seems to have the most sense. She seems to be the most tolerable of the squad. But where is homegirl from Detroit? Where's Rashida? You know, I mean, she had a lot to say leading up to the election, and now, I mean, I do not hear from her at all. Now, I'm not on Twitter anymore, so it could just be that I've shut myself out of a lot, which is good. That was a good thing for me to do for, you know, my nerves. But yeah, you don't hear from her. You don't hear from any of those, people from Dearborn. You're not hearing from any of these people, these progressives. And why not? Because now these students that were protesting in favor of the Palestinians, I mean, they're getting their homes raided in Washtenaw County, which is not that far from Detroit. I mean, it's like maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half, maybe from Rashida Tlaib's district. And it's like, where you at, girl? Where you at? Where you at? Um, yeah. Is she doing anything to support these people? Maybe she is. Um, and I'm going to look into that. But all I know is that I'm not hearing from those people. So, anyway, we will see what happens next. And I hope these people that are getting their homes raided, I believe that they're students, like international students. I hope they have someone that's looking out for their interests on this side and wherever they're from, because I am very curious when people are taken out of America, that they actually make it back home, as opposed to just ending up in Guantanamo Bay and, probably ending up, in some work camp or being trafficked or something else. Only God knows. It's very disappointing and disconcerting and very saddening because that's not supposed to happen. But anyway, that's all I have to say. I'm going to move on now. Anyway, have a great night. Thank you. Bye.